Hi, Janet Gonzales. We're setting up to do the raindrop therapy. So over here, I have the crock pot. Right now we'll be having towels in it, and I'm going to pour some of my detox tea on the towels, and this is the steamy towels that she will wrap my feet in and lay on my back when it comes time to soak in some warm heat. This is the raindrop technique that comes in your raindrop therapy oils kit. And on there, it tells you the instructions on how to do the raindrop therapy. So you could do the raindrop therapy on your own family. It's best if you have people involved that care about each other because touching is healing. These are the oils I have set out to use. Right here, the front ones, and then some in the back are ones that I just decided that perhaps we could work those in. You don't have to stay right on the exact path of the oils, but some, like the beginning part of it, you have to use exactly what they say to use, and then after that you can vary a little bit. So that's what we're going to do in a few minutes.
Okay, so we are about to start the raindrop procedure on Janet. And the first thing that you want to do as the giver is anoint yourself with white angelica. White angelica is an oil that protects you from taking on anything that the person that you're working on is able to let go of, release. Yeah. So right on the front of that little thing, here's the volume. Or either that you reversed it. Oh. Okay, that's better.
So if you're talking too quiet, you can't really rewind it. It just
Okay.
goes.
Okay, so we turned the radio down. Hopefully you can hear me better. So the first thing that you want to do is use the white angelica and anoint yourself. I normally put it right on my forehead and on the back of my neck and my shoulders.
And this is Allison Ballard. She's the one that I talk about. She's the one I showed the picture of this morning in the morning video.
Oh.
The picture that when we were praying down there by the courthouse with me and you and Ellie, when I was reading my scripture, that picture fell out of the Bible. Yeah, and it says that you are from Shorewood, and I was like, I was just going to Shorewood this year.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yes, and I typically I use tuning forks now along with raindrops, so I am going to just use them to ground myself even further, and then I'm just going to show a regular raindrop so that it's just easier to duplicate. But we strongly encourage the raindrop. The other oils that we're going to use are oregano, thyme, basil, wintergreen, marjoram, cypress, aroma seeds, and peppermint. And then once we're finished, I will anoint Janet with the white angelica. So the receiver or the giver anoints themselves first, and then you use the white angelica on the receiver afterward to protect them from taking back anything that they were able to let go of. So these are 2 ohm tuning forks, and you just use them on the abdomen to ground yourself before you start. So the first thing I'm going to do is balance Janet's shoulders with Valor. And you want to use about 5 to 6 drops. And you place your right hand on their right shoulder and then your left hand on their left shoulder. And you hold them until you feel that the energy is, your energy and their energy are balanced. So you can almost feel like their heartbeat or a swish or a wave of energy movement. So you really don't want to rush that. We actually balanced her very quickly because we're both very used to using the oils and receiving raindrop and working together. So Janet's actually the first person I ever gave a raindrop to. So she has encouraged my whole quest to further my education with this modality.
All right, that was because we did it the day before I did chemotherapy treatment when I was really doing the hard stuff and I was really sick.
The first one was 2 days after.
The first one was 2 days after, and then we started doing them like before. So I know that my symptoms were alleviated incredibly by doing the raindrop therapy.
Now we,
Yeah.
oh yeah. And now we're going to use Valor to balance the feet. Again, about the same amount of drops. We use less drops when we're using the tuning forks because the tuning forks amplify the oils and you just don't want it to be too much, you know. Anyway, so you activate the oil and then you take right hand to right foot, left hand to left foot, and then you balance the feet.
Right, so now my feet heated up at the same time. They're like my feet are like really cold right now. So as soon as you feel that energy shift, then you can move on.
Yeah, and you know, it can take up to from 1 minute to 3 minutes. It can take a little bit. So, you know, some people actually get a stool to sit on, but you want to be comfortable. And, you know, as the giver, you really want to make sure that you're taking care of your body mechanics and posture and stuff. So if you do need a stool to sit on while you're balancing, a lot of people do use that. When you're giving the raindrop, it's best if you're in line with the client's leg that you're working on. So I stand sideways, and the first oil again is oregano. You put your hand over their body because the reason why it's called raindrop is you're dropping the oils over their body, going through their field of energy. So the oil is addressing them before it touches them. And then you just activate 3 times. I wipe it up. We're actually applying the oils to, in reflexology, this is where the spinal column is. This is the base of the spinal column or the coccyx going all the way up the spinal column to the top of the toe, which is the brain. So we apply the oils. I do it 3 times. And then you use what is called a Vitaflex technique. And Vitaflex the oils into the foot. Really, we're addressing the spine from the foot. And we're waking up the spine. as we are applying the oils to the spine from the feet.
Holy cow, I'm getting smoking hotter.
Are you?
Oh. And if you're ticklish, this could be a challenge. Allison did a raindrop on this little boy, and he could not stop laughing. It was so much fun.
Yeah, that's funny. So if somebody is really ticklish, you can just try to move a little faster. But typically, being ticklish is a sign of the first level of pain being stored in the fascia. And so it's kind of a good thing to address it because it can be released. A lot of times by the third or fourth oil, the person has calmed down a little bit and they're not as ticklish.
Yeah, he did. He calmed down.
Did he?
Yeah. But I'm not ticklish because when we were kids, we used to torture each other by tickle. So I trained myself not to be ticklish on my feet.
And this is the time we're using the second oils.
Yeah, we used to torture each other by tickling. No, I mean it. A purpose that I choose to forgive myself for everybody I am taking on in a torture fashion.
The third oil is basil.
And I guess another thing that you should know is that I took a shower this morning because after raindrop therapy, I will not take a shower for at least 2 or 3 days. I want my oils to stay on me, in me, work on me. It'll be a good solid 2 days.
Yeah, they suggest 24 to 48 hours if possible, not showering. And it's also important prior to a raindrop that if you are able to shower without chemicals, especially chemicals in the hair that run down the back, that is best because the oils will detox chemicals and they'll begin to kill the chemicals rather rapidly on the surface of the skin. So if there is any redness, that's what it's typically due to. The oils killing, consuming any petrochemicals. And you can just use, we have V6, which is a vegetable oil blend that will help with the redness or heat or irritation. And it just slows the spinning of the electrons. So the oil is still just as effective. It's just going to be more time released. And it should handle any discomfort rather quickly. I'm on wintergreen. Marjoram.
Well, it did feel good until you got over a little bit farther. There's something up there.
Up here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
So if you buy yourself a raindrop therapy kit from Young Living, they have the instructions in that packet. So, and they're pretty easy to follow. And I think it helps to watch a video so that you can see someone do the raindrop therapy, and then it makes it even easier to follow.
Yeah, Gary Young has a YouTube video that is about an hour in length going through the raindrop technique, so that would be a wonderful place to start as well. But when you order the kit, you do get a DVD that does explain it. And that's part of the reason why I really appreciate Raindrop is because they do encourage you to just get yourself a kit and teach yourself and practice and help your friends and family. And the nice thing is that there are avenues if you do wish to pursue it to become certified. So you can go through the CARE program, which is stands for the Center of Aromatherapy Research and Enlightenment. That's been developed by Dr. David Stewart. Or you can go through Dr. Christy Bonds Garrett with the raindrop harmonics, adding the tuning forks and color light therapy to this modality. So it just enhances the oils, it enhances the balancing properties of everything, and it really just harmonizes the mind, body, spirit, emotions. That's the other reason why I really love this modality is because it addresses the whole person. It addresses the physical, emotional, and spiritual aspect of things. And it's nice because the receiver is really the chief participant in his or her own healing. And the raindrop will administer what is needed at the time and what they're able to receive, what they're able to let go of, whether it be, something in the mind or emotions or body. So nice. If you go the route of being certified, you have the opportunity to become a licensed spiritual healer. And after recently taking those courses, I would highly recommend it just for educational purposes. Even if you don't really want to be certified, the whole certification process is amazing. And you learn a ton about yourself and this whole experience. It's really good education. So that was peppermint. Um, that's the last oil that we're going to Vitaflex into the feet. Sorry, a bit here. And I always like to just make sure that the oils are rubbed in as nice and as well as possible. We are going to have her turn over in a minute and I'm going to put some warm compresses on her feet. But this is just something that we like to do on our own. This is not necessarily taught or endorsed by Young Living along with the raindrop technique.
Right, and I showed you the crock pot in the beginning of the video. Today we're heating up rags. Tonight we're going to be eating dinner on it. It's a universal crock pot. I don't know. my blanket don't go nowhere.
I could, because I need to pull this down, I could put this towel on
This
the
is actually
side.
pretty comfortable.
Is it?
Okay.
Do you have a bolster under your feet? Are you okay?
We could roll
We can use
one of the
this.
big towels up. It might be a little big.
You think?
Yeah, I would just take, where did I put those towels? There should be
This
a,
one
like
was-
a,
This one?
yeah, just roll that one up for now. Or on the baby blanket.
See if that, is that
Oh,
wide
that's
enough?
perfect.
Where are the towels to cover your feet?
They are, I threw them all right there. So those two little white ones are to cover up my feet.
These?
So we're just putting some little rags on my feet so that they don't get burned by the hot towels. And so this just helps keep you warm the whole time, and it just kind of heat treats your feet with all the oils on them. I put some of my detox tea on the rags that are in the crock pot.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to put some detox tea on top of my feet too.
So these towels are a little bigger than the towels that you have. Is that going to be too hot?
And we don't press the towels on, we just lay them on and put a plastic bag over them to keep the heat in.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to start with oregano and drop about 3 to 4 drops. There it used to be recommended to drop a couple more than that, but now we're going with the less is more mentality. We also used to drop the raindrop oils all the way up to the neck, and now we're dropping them lower on the back, about the first half of the back. Because if there is redness that occurs, it's typically up in this area near the hairline, and the oils are going to get up there anyway. So you really don't want to put a lot of the hotter oils up there. So this is the feather stroking technique that Gary Young learned as he studied with the Lakota Indians. And the Lakota Indians used to migrate to the Northern Lights, or the Aurora Borealis, which is like an energetic phenomenon that takes place in the sky, and you're just surrounded with light and energy, and they would migrate there. This was before the U.S. Canadian order was established, and they believed just being in the presence of this light and these extra energetic properties that they would just raise their arms and inhale and visualize this energy coming down the front of their spine and coming back up. And then they would use this feather stroking technique to move the energy. So the feather stroking is happening with the back of your fingernails, and it's like awakening the body energetically and stimulating the neurotransmitters and everything to receive the oils the best that they can. So with every oil, I'll do the next one is thyme. Again, you want to be at least 6 inches above the body. And what I'm doing is 3-inch feather strokes, meaning I am going about 3 inches with one hand and following 3 inches with another, all the way up to the neck. And you want to do the 3-inch strokes, followed by 6-inch strokes, and then 12-inch. So 12-inch, 12-inch, 12-inch. And then I fan it out to the side. I go 1, 2, 3, out, 1, 2, 3, out. And everybody does it a little bit differently, and it's not a big deal either way. As long as you're getting the oils on the body, you're good. The next oil that we're going to do is basil, and basil addresses the muscular system. So I put that on either side of the spine, directly on that group of muscles, and then I just feather stroke it in a wider feather stroke, spreading my fingers, so it's hitting either side of the spine.
You can tell too how it just gets your nerves activated all the way to the surface of your skin.
Yeah, Janet just said that you can tell that it gets your nerves activated all the way to the surface of the skin. And often people will get goosebumps, which is a very good sign. This is wintergreen, and I put wintergreen directly on the spine. Wintergreen addresses like more of the structural system, bones. It has a cortisone-like effect, and it's just wonderful.
And so far, is there any redness over it?
No. And she just asked if there's any redness happening on her back yet, and there is no redness. I'm doing marjoram, again, muscular, so I'm doing it on the sides of the spine. And after that, the first 2 oils that you begin with are oregano and thyme. They are like nicknamed the duo. And then after that is basil, wintergreen, marjoram. They are nicknamed the trio. And so after you do the basil, wintergreen, marjoram, again, the basil and the marjoram are affecting the muscular system. So we are going to do finger circles and gently pull the muscles away from the spinal column so that the oils can sink in even deeper. And often we notice that if the oils are like, not necessarily penetrating through the skin very rapidly, once you do the finger circles and you open that up, you can see them absorb. Janet was noticing that, and as she was giving raindrops to people, and ever since she mentioned that, I've been like, oh yeah, that is actually happening very consistently. So just so you know, if the oils aren't all absorbing and being pulled into the skin, once you do the finger circles, they probably will penetrate faster. I'm going to go get my ortho leads. I normally have this on me in my pouch. But the Orthoes is a blend that comes in the raindrop kit. It's a massage oil blend and it's amazing to help relax muscles as well. And I am going to just wipe it along the spine so I can have more glide as I do the finger circles. So you want to follow the spine down and then pull off the spine. You're not touching the spine when you're doing the finger circles. And then you come around to the next side, to the other side. You go back and forth doing both sides 3 times.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to be afraid to touch the sore parts of your body.
Right, I normally use a dress. Did you just get a tattoo?
Where?
On your arm. The left arm. Does it always come all the way around like that?
Well, the kids tattoo now, yours is important.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The flower?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, the flowers that are wrapping around, George and Courtney did them.
Sorry, I'm just asking her about a tattoo I didn't notice before. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love being able to hear the birds. So nice when you can open the windows back up again. Well, it's not that I don't have my Georgia windows open all winter, there's just as many birds out this thing.
So after basil, wintergreen, and marjoram in the finger circles, we use cypress. And cypress is such an amazing universal oil. And it's so calming and gentle and perfect. So after we feather stroke cypress in, we do thumb Vitaflex. And I like to stand next to the head cradle, so I'm not like over them trying to do this. And you position your thumbs so they are like one is over the other. You probably can't see that very clearly, but they're offset, and your thumbs are on either side of the spine, and you just Vitaflex or flip the thumb over onto the nail bed all the way up the spine. So this is what I'm doing. I'm putting one thumb on one side of the spine, and then you're just flipping, flipping, flipping. And when I said that your thumbs are jagged, they're like on either side of each other. So when they're flipping, your knuckles are not hitting each other. So like that. You do the thumb Vitaflex 3 times. And then you do what is called the saw maneuver. In the saw maneuver, you're gonna place your fingers, whatever hand, I'm right-handed, so I place my left hand like this, straddling the spine, and then I put my right hand over those, like my fingernails, and then I'm gonna move my hands and shake her lower body as I'm pulling up. And you'll see like where the lower body will move a lot back and forth. You kind of want that rocking motion. And then once it gets closer to the upper back, it'll stop moving that much, but you're still doing the motion. See, and that's like where the larger movement stops, and you're just vibrating all the way up. So that is what you do that is extra after Cypress, is the thumb Vitaflex and the saw maneuver. There are a couple other oils that Janet wanted to add to this raindrop, and some people say things a little differently, but I follow that if you're going to add an oil, you add it after Cypress. If you're going to add a different one other than the main raindrop oils. So I'm going to add frankincense because it's amazing and you can never go wrong with frankincense. And German chamomile.
That's coming out.
Oh, it is now. That is the darkest blue ever. Oh my gosh. That is like ink. Oh my gosh. Have you seen it?
That could just really just come out of the bottle for me.
It is so beautiful. If the camera could see on top, that would be so awesome. Oh my gosh. This is definitely the darkest oil I've ever used in a raindrop. It's almost staining your skin. It looks like I'm like tattooing you.
Yeah.
But it's cool because you can see every motion and how much, deeper the oil is going into the skin and like how it's moving. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. You're blown. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So we just added the frankincense and German chamomile because Janet requested that, and so now we're going to go back to the regular protocol, and we're at orthoes. So this is the orthoes blend. It's a soothing, it says warming for tired bodies. It's amazing. And we are going to get that spread all over the body, all over the back, I should say. And then We do these palm circles. I do 3 times all the way around, clockwise. And then this is called an Indian rub, and I really love this. It's like pulling everything back and putting it back into place. And you're no longer blue, everything's rubbed in. That's so cool. And then I just always do this as an effleurage stroke up the back and try to pull the shoulders down a little. I believe, you know, we have a lot of tension up there in our shoulders. So once orthoese is all rubbed in, we go back to Valor. So you balance the shoulders with Valor, you balance the feet with Valor before you start, and then the last oil that you're applying in the raindrop succession is the Valor outside of peppermint. We use peppermint last because peppermint is a driver of all the other oils. It helps them to penetrate a little deeper and amplifies their effects. So after Valor is peppermint, and if it's really cool out in the winter or something, you can substitute copaiba for peppermint because copaiba is a lot lighter, doesn't really have the hot and cold effect that peppermint has. And it still penetrates the oils and allows them to go even deeper and work together and harmonizes, so it's nice. And then after peppermint, I just do some more effleurage strokes, which is just a light stroke going up towards the head, towards the heart. And then I just like to pull the shoulders down and make sure that all the oils are completely rubbed in. And then we cover the back with a nice large dry towel, and then I'm going to put another warm towel over this. This thing's like a spaceship.
What? The crack pot? It's pressure cookers though.
Oh,
I think that's why it gets all pressurized when you try to open it. Warm enough though, right?
So now that the peppermint is in place and the warm compress is on here, you can just let them rest for like 5 to 8 minutes. And like I said, to pursue this modality, just to learn more about it, is really enlightening. You can learn a lot about many um, just aspects of healing, aspects of wellness, and um, she thinks I need to talk louder. Anyway, I hope you can hear, and I wasn't really planning, I didn't know for sure that this, we were videotaping today. She had mentioned it, but then my schedule was a little tight originally, and then it opened up, so we went ahead and did this. We could probably do this another time and be a little more precise, maybe have some notes to share. Um, One of the things I would love to read to you is it's called the 11 Points to Prelude a Raindrop. And let me see if I have a copy. I don't have to read the whole thing, but there are many really good points in that. I have all the clients that I work on read this prior to receiving a raindrop so they have a better understanding of what can happen in one application. Okay, so this is the 11 points to mention as a prelude to the raindrop technique. This is written by David Stewart. And the first point I think is extremely important. I will read all of that. It says the purpose of the raindrop technique is to stimulate every organ, muscle, and bone of the body at a cellular level through the oils, supporting the immune system, bringing the body into structural, I cannot say that word, and electrical balance, and enabling the release of toxins or disease wherever they may be lodged, including the illnesses that are lodged in the mind and the emotions. The raindrop technique is a non-secular art and science. Raindrop technique is most effectively performed in silence. Today we do have a little background music going. We're listening to Whole Tones, which is it's a music project that every song is a different frequency that brings about different healing to the body. And I'm talking and teaching anyway, so it's not exactly silent, but it is best if it can be done in silence. The third point is that the client is the principal participant in and a means of his or her own healing. We mentioned that before, and I think that's one of my favorite parts about this is that it just allows you to take responsibility for where you are and help yourself move forward. The fourth point is that the maladies of the body and mind are in layers. It says during any given raindrop session, only those layers that the client is ready and willing to release will be released, both physical and emotional. The point number 5 is the raindrop technique is a complete modality in and of itself, meaning that you really don't have to do it in combination with anything else, whether it's chiropractic or, acupuncture. All of those are wonderful, and you can use them with the oils. However, it's not necessary. The raindrop technique is a complete modality. The reason why, using tuning forks and playing a full scale on the body with either tuning forks or color therapy is okay, is because it's all along the same lines of subtle vibration and, the oils are working at an energetic level, and then playing sound on and over the body is just assisting with that natural process. Number 6 is that the raindrop technique stimulates detoxification of the body. That's what we were talking about. If there is any redness, then it's usually the oils just consuming petrochemicals or something that is on the surface of our skin or that it's bringing up to the surface of our skin and it's trying to eliminate. So it is a good thing, even though it might, be slightly discomforting. Number 7, the raindrop technique can lead to permanent healing, but the correction or healing of the maladies will vary widely among clients according to their needs going into the session and their willingness to release what ails them at the time. Excuse me. So again, you're in charge, and so whatever your looking to address or hoping to overcome, that is what could and should take place. Number 8, strong emotional releases can sometimes occur. You know, some people actually start crying right away, or, you know, just going through certain emotions. That doesn't have to be that they're crying, but they're actually just realizing different things, you know, from the beginning of the raindrop all the way through. But the oils continue to work in the body for up to 7 days. So you can have an emotional release, you know, that evening or 3 days later. And the next point is along those same lines. The benefit of the raindrop may not all be apparent immediately following a session. It says adjustments can continue throughout the week following. So, you know, it can be progressive, which is really interesting. It's kind of cool to take note of what happens and how you're affected. Number 10 is a word about skin sensitivities, which again we've touched on, and what you want to do if there is any redness or anything is just add a little bit of the V6 oil that also comes in the raindrop kit, or olive oil or coconut oil, something that can just help calm down the detox process, because the electrons in these oils are spinning very, very fast. And so that's what's causing the redness, is just that it's detoxing fast. So when you add the olive oil or the V6 oil, it's just going to slow down the spinning of those electrons. And the last one is that anyone can do a raindrop, which I think is awesome. Once again, I'm so grateful, because if that wasn't stated, I probably wouldn't have pursued this as far as I have. And now I really appreciate everything about it. Because of doing my first raindrop on Janet, that led me to study under Dr. Christy Bonds Garrett, who is out of Paducah, Kentucky. And now I am a licensed spiritual healer and certified in raindrop harmonics. And I'm also a massage therapist, so this just works really well together. But you do not have to be a massage therapist to learn raindrop, to do raindrop, or to become certified in raindrop, which again, I think that is awesome. So we will see how are you doing, Janet?
I'm good. You can show the lily.
Oh, and then I was going to, I don't know what I did.
Is it on the table over by the door?
Okay. So this is, if you can read it, it says Blue Moon Healing Garden. I'm offering services out of this location. It's actually in Warrenville, very close to Naperville. It's off of
Illinois.
Winfield. Oh, in Illinois. When I'm in Illinois, I live in Indiana, but when I am here, I'll be here about once a month offering raindrop harmonics out of Blue Moon Healing Garden Center. And Lily Moon is the owner, and she is amazing. She is a master anesthesiologist, and she's also an acupuncturist, and she helped me with my shoulder injury. I've been overcoming a shoulder injury for 13 weeks now, and my arm was like very frozen and stuck, and I could only move my arm like this much in front of me, and then to the side it was like this, and every time I tried to raise it, it would turn in. And I went to Lily for dry needling, and she was able to release this trigger point, and instantly I was able to raise my hand, and I was able to raise my hand, and it's amazing. So we have the people that are sharing this space. We have Gong Sound Healing, Naturopathic Medicine, Cranial Sacral Therapy, Acupuncture, Homeopathy, Reiki, Transformational Imagery, and then the Raindrop Harmonics. Everything's taking place right here. I highly encourage you to get in touch. I'm looking. Well, the address is South 718 Winfield Road, Winfield, Illinois, 60174.
And if you could hold that up, because I feel like we have an accent, even though we don't know we have an accent.
There's the address. And Lily's number is 630-765-7701.
Hold it up close so they can
Oh, well,
screenshot it.
okay.
And then
Be
just
like, I
encourage
don't
them to
know.
screenshot it.
We have a Facebook page, so you could actually just look up Blue Moon Healing Garden and get this information as well on
There you
Facebook.
go. Yeah, because Allison, I think I'm like, well, we don't think that we have an accent, but other people might not understand our letters. So
Yeah,
I just let them.
people think I have an accent all the time.
All right. My feet stayed warm the whole time.
Oh, good. So while the towel is on the back and it has had some time to cool off, calm down, so I'm not really pressing the heat into the back at this time, I do a spinal stretch. So we just put our hand, get a good grip on the lower spine, and then you're gonna just separate your hands and rock the body back and forth. And then travel up the spine as you do it.
Can you crisscross your hands?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that was cool.
Mm-hmm. And that is it.
Stretch the neck.
Well, that's been removed.
Yeah.
Isn't it nice?
We can end that.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys for watching. So that's raindrop therapy. I keep talking about raindrop therapy. We're just gonna end this right now, and then I'm gonna have her do a couple more things that are not raindrop therapy. Adios.
Bye.